Stop right there. This is your wake-up call. I'm Tony Robbins, and today I want to talk directly to the fighter in you. The part of you that's tired but not broken. The part that's been knocked down but refuses to stay down. Listen to me, your future self is watching you right now. They're watching how you handle the pressure, how you face your fears, how you keep going when the world tells you to stop. Because the truth is, one day you'll look back at this very moment and realize this was the turning point. The moment you decided, I will not quit. Have you ever noticed how the toughest seasons in life, the ones that break you open, are the very moments that define you? It's almost ironic. We spend so much time trying to avoid pain, trying to find shortcuts, trying to escape discomfort. Yet when you look back, the moments that shaped your character, your courage, your strength, they were never the easy ones. They were the times you were tested, the nights you couldn't sleep, the battles no one saw. The truth is, struggle isn't your enemy. It's your initiation. The universe has this strange way of handing you problems wrapped in purpose. When you go through hardship, you're not being punished, you're being prepared. Because resilience isn't built in calm waters, it's forged in storms. Think about it. The people you admire most, the ones you call strong, didn't become that way because life was kind. They became that way because life demanded something deeper from them. Struggle sharpens you. It strips away your excuses. It forces you to grow. When you face adversity, your choices narrow to break down or break through. And when you choose the latter, something shifts inside you. You stop being the victim of your circumstances and start being the author of your story. That's the real power struggle offers. It's the invitation to evolve. Every challenge whispers, this is where you level up. And if you lean into it, if you stop resisting it, you'll discover the strength you never knew you had. That's not theory. That's truth earned through fire. Now let's talk about progress, real raw progress. We've been sold a lie that perfection is the goal, that we need to have it all figured out before we take a single step. That's nonsense. The world doesn't reward the perfect, it rewards the persistent. Progress is messy, it's uncomfortable, and it's rarely Instagram ready, but it's progress that moves you forward, not perfection. Perfection is a trap. It's a form of fear dressed up as high standards. You keep waiting for the right moment to act, but that moment never comes. You keep analyzing, planning, preparing, convincing yourself that when everything aligns, then you'll start. Guess what? Life doesn't work like that. Action is what creates clarity. You don't think your way into confidence. You act your way into it. Every small step you take, every imperfect move you make becomes the foundation of momentum, and momentum is everything. Once you start, something shifts. You begin to believe again. You start to see progress, and that progress fuels more action. That's the cycle. Progress builds faith. Faith builds progress. Perfection, it builds paralysis. It keeps you stuck, staring at the map, afraid to take the first turn. The truth is, you're not supposed to have all the answers. You're supposed to move and figure it out along the way. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve isn't talent. It's motion. It's the willingness to start messy, to stumble, to learn on the go. Because every giant leap begins with a clumsy first step. So stop waiting for perfect. Start where you are with what you have and let progress lead you home. Discipline, that's the word no one wants to hear anymore. We live in a world obsessed with instant gratification, with quick fixes and hacks. Everyone's chasing motivation like it's some kind of magic potion. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Motivation fades. It's emotional, it's inconsistent, it comes and goes like the wind. Discipline, on the other hand, is stable. It's the quiet power that doesn't care how you feel. It just gets the job done. That's what separates those who talk about change from those who actually create it. Because life doesn't reward intention, it rewards execution. You can have the best goals, the best mindset, the best plan, but if you can't stay consistent, you'll lose to someone who simply shows up every single day, rain or shine. Discipline is doing what you said you would do long after the mood you said it in has disappeared. Think about this. Every successful person you admire, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, they're not driven by motivation every morning. You think they wake up excited every day? No. They wake up tired, distracted, unmotivated, But they show up anyway. Why? Because they built systems stronger than their feelings. That's discipline. It's not glamorous. It's not loud. It's not flashy. But it's the force that moves mountains over time. Discipline is freedom, because when you master yourself, when you stop being a slave to your impulses, you become unstoppable. It's not about punishing yourself. It's about choosing your future self over your current comfort. That's what real power looks like. When you say no to laziness, to excuses, to fear, you're not giving something up. You're trading temporary ease for permanent strength. And if you can do that day after day, you will outlast everyone who quit because they were waiting to feel ready. Now, let's talk about something most people avoid: failure. Our culture has become allergic to it. Everyone wants success without struggle, reward without risk. But failure, real gut-wrenching failure, is the greatest teacher you'll ever have. The problem is most people see it as final. They think failure means they're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable. That's wrong. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's the blueprint for it. Every time you fail, life hands you feedback. It's information, data that tells you what doesn't work, where you need to grow, and what to do differently next time. You know who never fails? People who never try. People who sit on the sidelines criticizing those who do. They're safe, but they never win. Because progress only happens in motion, and motion always carries the risk of falling. That's how learning works. When a baby tries to walk, it falls, not once, but 1,000 times. And yet, no one tells that baby to stop trying, because falling isn't failure. It's how you build balance. Somewhere along the way, we forget that. We let fear of judgment keep us from trying again. But the truth is, failure is a mirror. It reflects not your worth, but your willingness to grow. Every mistake is a message. If you're humble enough to listen, the people who rise are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to let failure define them. So the next time you fall, don't retreat, review, learn, adjust, and go again. Because every setback is setting you up for something greater. You are not your past. And that's a truth most people struggle to accept. We live in a culture obsessed with labels. Everyone wants to define you by what you did, where you've been, or who you used to be. But here's the reality: your past is not a life sentence. It's a lesson. The mistakes you made, the failures you endured, the people who walked away, none of that defines you. They are chapters, not the whole story. And if you spend your life rereading the same painful pages, you'll never discover what comes next. The past is a teacher, not a prison. But most people get stuck because they identify with their history more than their potential. They replay their regrets like a broken record, convincing themselves that they've already peaked or messed up too badly to recover. That's a lie. The truth is, every single day, you get a new vote for the person you want to become. Not the person you were yesterday, not the one who failed, not the one who gave up, the one you're deciding to be right now. And that's power. Because when you stop defining yourself by your old story, you give yourself permission to write a new one. The people around you might still see the old version of you. That's fine. Let them. You're not changing for their approval. You're changing for your freedom. Redemption isn't about erasing your past. It's about transforming it into proof that you can grow. Every scar is evidence of survival. Every setback is a setup for strength. You can't rewrite what happened, but you can choose what it means. And that choice every single day is where transformation begins. Now, mindset, that's the battlefield no one sees. You can't control every situation in life, but you can control your response. That's what separates those who crumble from those who conquer. Your mindset is your weapon. It's how you interpret reality. If you believe life is happening to you, you'll always feel like a victim. If you believe life is happening for you, you'll start to see purpose in pain. It's not about pretending everything's fine. It's about deciding how you'll face what's not. Because when you master your mind, you master your world. Every emotion, every reaction, every habit starts with a single thought. You change the thought, you change the outcome. Most people let their emotion drive the car, anger, fear, doubt, and then they wonder why they crash. Champions flip that dynamic. They use emotion as fuel, not a steering wheel. When life hits, they pause, breathe, and respond instead of react. That's control, and control is freedom. You can't stop storms from coming, but you can anchor your ship. You can't silence every critic, but you can silence the one in your head, because your inner dialogue, the story you tell yourself, is the most powerful force in your life. If you constantly say, I can't, your mind will prove you right. If you say, I will, your body will find a way. That's not wishful thinking. That's psychology.